Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Dave Grant. I am the founder of Retirement Matters. And today we're having a fun episode where I'm going to show you how President Trump has caused your newborn baby to be a multimillionaire by the time that they retire. And you don't have to save a penny after they turn 18. So if you've been watching the news, you're aware that President Trump released in the middle of 2025 his one big, beautiful bill, but it's called the BBB. And in there, Trump is giving every newborn baby over the next few years, and he's giving you a free $1,000, and you can save to that account as well. And it's supposed to be advancing the financial security of our young generation. It's a great promise. But I want you to understand exactly what this account is for, how you can maximize it, and how you can turn your newborn baby into a multimillionaire by the time they retire. So let's give you a little rundown on what this account is. So it's essentially going to be an account that the Treasury drops $1,000 in when you register your child as being born and they get a Social Security number. And then it's invested in low-cost index funds like the S&P 500. And it's essentially just going to grow. When they become 18, they get access to the money for certain things. They can start a business, go to school, I believe buy a house is one of the third ones, and that's called a qualified distribution. That means you could take the money out without any taxes. After they turn 18, and if they're not using it for qualified expenses, that account is supposed to turn into what's going to be a traditional IRA. So if you pull money out before retirement age, you're going to pay a penalty, you're going to be assessed some taxes. If you leave it past retirement age, there's no penalty anymore, but likely there'll be taxes assessed. There's still some wrinkles with this whole Trump baby account, and they'll be ironed out over time, but that's kind of the gist of it. Well, how am I getting to the point where I'm making the claim that your child can be a multimillionaire when they hit retirement? Let's give you some numbers. So using this example, if you had that $1,000 go into the account, you added nothing to it, your child turned 18 and it was invested in the stock market and nothing else, let's assume a rate of return of 8% per year, they're going to get roughly $4,000 by the time they're 18. That's great. That's free money. You can't complain. You're allowed to add money to this account. So you can add money as a family, and then there's also a business provision where an employer can add money to this account. Again, things being wrinkled out with the contribution limits, but let's just play it out as we're reading it and we're seeing it right now. So you can add $5,000 a year to this account. So let's say you put $5,000 into this account. Again, you're doing this every year. You've got that cash flow over and above college savings, over and above any other savings you want to do. And you're doing that until they're 18. That $4,000 turns into $205,000. So that's a big change if you're saving $5,000 a year for the 18 years. Let's say your employer is on board with this plan, or you're a business owner and you decide that you're going to put in that extra $2,500 over and above this and save $7,500 in total to this account. You're going to get just over $300,000. That's an amazing amount of money for an 18-year-old. That could do a lot of stuff. But what I want you to do is I want you to understand, let's leave this alone. You've been given this great tool of compounding interest, tax-deferred growth, and cheap growth at that by using index funds. What happens if you started this as a retirement account for your child, but you said, leave this alone until your retirement, and you may never need to save a lot for retirement and let this account do the work? So let's say you had that $300,000 by the time they're 18. What does that turn into by the time they're 65? I want you to look at that number on the screen. If you took that $300,000, didn't add anything to it, left it alone. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, that's inflation. That's going to be 65 years from now. Okay, let me inflate that number. We'll assume a 3.5% inflation because that is a historic number. Let me get you that number. You could set your child up to have over $1 million in retirement by using this account and just funneling some money in there. Yes, you need some excess cash flow to make this work, but it's an account that's new and it's been given to you just for your child, and you're able to set them up for the future. Will there be some hiccups with this account? Of course there will be. It's brand new and it hasn't all been ironed out yet. So this is just a scenario of what might happen if you're able to maximize this account to the fullest. Even if you're not, even if we're halfway wrong, you're still adding a significant amount of money to the retirement of your child and they haven't really had to do anything. So I would take a look at this Trump savings account for your new child and understand if it's something that fits into your financial plan. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My name's Dave Grant. I run a company called Retirement Matters, and I'm here to help if you need it. Till next time, take care.
Dave Grant is the founder of Retirement Matters, a wealth management firm in Barrington, Illinois. Dave specializes in helping people transition into retirement, specifically executives at AbbVie and Illinois teachers in the TRS pension system. If you have concerns about your retirement transition and want help from a fee-only advisor with decades of experience helping people like you can learn more at www.retirementmatters.co.